Hello and a very warm welcome to this special as we preview the first ODI to be played between India and South Africa in Paarl. The visitors will look to keep the disappointment of the Test series behind and would want to bounce back in this series. All eyes will be on Virat Kohli, the former India captain, and that in itself sounds strange. Former India Test captain, former India captain who resigned from Test captaincy just on last Saturday. On top of that, there will also be scrutiny on Rahul, the stand-in skipper in place of Rohit Sharma. So what can India do? How will they look to bounce back? A lot to discuss with Nikhil Narayan, who joins me here on the show. Nikhil, first of all, let's talk about what one can expect from this match. In Paarl, India haven't played South Africa at all. They have played 3 matches there, but South Africa were not one of the opponents. What are we expecting from the pitch? And it looks like if you go back to the records, it looks like batting first will be an advantage. So whoever wins the toss will look to bat first.
Absolutely, Meha. Firstly, it's a big series for India because nothing than a 3-0 scoreline will satisfy them after what happened in the Test series. Although, although the Test series loss is massive, but 3-0 will be some sort of a balm for India after the disappointment. Coming back to the pitch at Paarl, not many ODIs are played here. It's a very small boundary. So expect a high score, especially with the team batting first. It is a very unique ground where the team batting first scores a lot of runs, but the team batting second, there have been a few collapses. Sri Lanka was bowled out for 43 on this ground. Canada was bowled out for 36 on the ground. And those 2 scores are amongst the 5 lowest in ODI history. So the team batting first has an advantage. Also, it's very hot in the Western Cape where Paarl is. Temperature today will be around 35 because it rained yesterday, Meha. But otherwise, temperature is going up to as high as 45 degrees. The pitch should assist the spinners, also the pace bowlers. But batting first, you should also see some big scores given the small boundaries. So interestingly, also since 2010, Meha, here's an interesting stat. Boland Park at Paarl has the highest, the best bowling average and bowling strike rate and the lowest batting average amongst all grounds in South Africa, which makes its ground very interesting and unique. Meha.
That's right. So India has never played South Africa in Paarl. Overall, India have played 3 ODIs in Paarl, and out of those 3 matches, India have won 2. They've been tied in 1. And of course, I think people who've been watching cricket would remember that Tendulkar Ganguly 258 runs stand in 2001. But South Africa have dominated India at home. Those stats will come up on your screens in just a moment. The matches that South Africa and India have played, 34 matches out of which India have won 10 and South Africa have won 22. Nikhil, just going by this, yes, South Africa have the upper hand, but because India had done well in the last series they played in 2018, they hammered South Africa 5-1, and just the team and the kind of team India has, do you think India has an upper hand?
I think historically, of course, the numbers are in favor of South Africa, but 218, India decimated, as you said, 5-1, decimated South Africa 5-1. So I think India go in favorites, Meha, not South Africa. This is not the same South African unit. Yes, they have done, brilliantly in the Test series, but still, India are ranked number 4. South Africa is ranked number 5 in the ICC rankings, although the point difference between them is a massive 15. So India are by far a superior side, even though they don't have Rohit Sharma in the 11. They are still a superior side. And as I said, anything but a series win or even a sweep will be a disappointment for India. Meha.
Yes, and all eyes, as we said, will be on Virat Kohli. Nikhil, so much has happened since last Saturday. We've been talking about it. Virat Kohli's sudden announcement where he resigned from Test captaincy. And this coming after all that happened with BCCI, where he'd spoken very clearly about how he wanted to continue as the ODI captain. So all eyes will be on him. I mean, if you thought there was a Kohli camera, remember that this Kohli camera will be on him even more now that he's quit captaincy from all three formats. I wonder how he will be. Will he be animated like he used to be? I mean, it'll be interesting to see whether he is going to be part of that decision-making process on the field as well. Will he go and help KL Rahul with, bowling changes? Yeah, so I think a lot of that is also going to be
Yeah.
anticipated, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating how Virat Kohli goes, about his business on the field. I don't think he'll go to KL Rahul. I think KL Rahul will come to him and then he'll share his inputs. But, Virat Kohli still remains amongst the best, contemporary batsmen in the world in limited overs cricket. Although Meha, his form went down since 2019 in tests. In ODIs, he still has an average of around 47. What he did in 2018 in South Africa, 558 runs in a series. That's a world record for the highest number of runs in a bilateral series. The man has an ODI average of 59, the highest ever in ODI history. So really, I mean, although he hasn't scored a ton since August 2019 at Port of Spain against the West Indies, his ODI numbers, in this time frame, an average of 47, not many batsmen boast of that. So Virat Kohli will remain, he will be the premier batsman in this side, especially in Rohit Sharma's absence. And now time has come for Virat Kohli to produce those big hundreds. I'm expecting something special from Kohli in this series.
That's right. And in fact, I think he would want to repeat that performance. He scored a record 558 runs, as we were just showing you there in that series where India hammered South Africa 5-1. He will look to repeat that. And I think Indian fans at this point, the kind of situation the team is in, this would augur well for the future of Indian cricket. But this is last chance for Shikhar Dhawan. And I think a lot of questions will be asked on why Shikhar Dhawan was even considered in this ODI team in the first place, Nikhil, given that you're looking at preparing this team for the 2023 World Cup. That's 20 months from now. Are you expecting Shikhar Dhawan to be, a mainstay in that team? Or if not, why not give a chance to a youngster like Rituraj Gaikwad? So yes, there is that question as well.
Absolutely, Maya. I think what the selectors and the think tank are doing is they are giving Dhawan a last chance till the 2023 World Cup in India. Two reasons for that. One, he is one of the all-time great ODI openers. Look at that record. Also, he has been in great form in this format of the game. Average of almost 60 since 2020. Also, Dhawan is a big tournament player. His record in World Cups and Champions trophies is amongst the best in the world of all time. But as you pointed out, age is a factor. He's already 36 plus. And lately, he wasn't in good form in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, if that counts for much. For a batsman of his experience, maybe that doesn't count. So therefore, I think this is the last chance for Dhawan, given his experience, big match play. Play him till the 2023 World Cup. But that also means that you're keeping Rituraj Gaikwad out of the 11, which I think, is not the correct policy because that man is in great form.
Also, the scrutiny will be on KL Rahul as well. We saw, him captaining that second test against South Africa in Johannesburg, and there was this talk around how maybe he lacked a bit of intensity when Team India needed to do much more to get Dean Elgar out, who was at that point difficult to get out. But KL Rahul also mentioned that he will open the innings, and I think the question is then, is that a good decision? Because KL Rahul has been batting in the middle for India in the recent times and has actually done well. But the other the theory of philosophy to this is that KL Rahul is in the form of his life, so why not get him to open and sort of unleash him on the opposition straight away?
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally KL Rahul should bat in the middle order. That is my view, Meha, because if you see the numbers in opening and the numbers at number 4 and 5 are both staggering, but there is a big difference. The difference is in the strike rate. When he plays at number 5, he plays aggressor, strike rate of almost 104. When he opens, he plays sheet anchor to Rohit Sharma essentially, and that strike rate of 82, according to me, is poor in this day and age for an opener. The same role he plays for Punjab Kings, the role of an anchor. that's playing within himself. Therefore, I think he should play in the middle order. But given that Rohit Sharma is injured, he is opening because otherwise India will not be able to accommodate 6 bowlers, and they can't go into the match with 5 bowlers. So I think more for the team combination he is opening rather than he wants to open. Neha.
One of the things Rahul Dravid will also look to do, Nikhil, given that they are keeping an eye on the preparations for the 2023 World Cup. I mean, that is important for them. And I think that process, that's the word that Rahul Dravid uses very often, that process begins now. And in that process will come Rituraj Gaikwad and Venkatesh Iyer. You expect both of these players to be part of this team in a big way in the ODIs in this format, and going by how well they perform, not just in the IPL but Vijay Hazare. I mean, you're just hoping that both of them continue that form. Of course, I think that Rituraj Gaikwad will have to wait a little longer since Shikhar Dhawan, KL Rahul hinted that Shikhar Dhawan will be part of the team. But Venkatesh Iyer, I hope he carries on that momentum into this ODI series.
Yeah, I think Venkatesh Iyer will be playing today, and he'll be playing, in the place of Hardik Pandya. He is the all-rounder in the 11, especially with Jadeja not being there. So Venkatesh Iyer was in great form in the Vijay Hazare, scoring tons batting in the lower middle order at a very high strike rate, also picking wickets. So yes, Venkatesh Iyer in the lower middle order as the all-rounder. Ruturaj, I think, should get a match in this series, maybe the second or third match at the cost of Dhawan. India have to try Ruturaj Gaikwad. They cannot waste that talent sitting on the bench.
Okay, then now the return of R. Ashwin. He last played an ODI in 2017, and a lot of people would think that would have not given him a chance. But here he is trying to resurrect his white ball career. What are you expecting of him in this series?
He's a much better bowler, in limited overs and in Test cricket than he was in 2017. I mean, he's the best off spinner in the world. His strike rate in ODI cricket is quite impressive of 40. He was good in the IPL last year for the Delhi Capitals. If India play one spinner, I don't see Ashwin playing actually. But if they play 2 spinners, then he will play. I think Yuzvendra Chahal should be the number 1 choice spinner, given his brilliant return to form in the second half of the IPL in the UAE and then in the Vijay Hazare Trophy this season. I think Chahal is your wicket taker. So I think he will play ahead of Ashwin. But if Ashwin plays, I think he brings variety into the attack. He's also very restrictive. He can control the middle overs. So let's see. It's going to be interesting whether India play 2 spinners or not.
Yeah, that is in fact, I think the one big question. But for South Africa, some of the key players, of course, would be Quinton de Kock. If in the Indian camp, it's Virat Kohli, all eyes will be on. Then I think for South Africa, it'll be Quinton de Kock, having announced his retirement from the Test format. Now, this is one of the formats that he plays. Him and Janman Malan, how brilliant has he been in his ODI career already? I mean, he scored 300s, 661 at an average of 3. He's the one to watch out for, isn't that so?
Absolutely. A great start to his ODI career, Meha. There's something in this surname, Malan. Remember what David Malan of England did in T20I cricket, how he started his career. Something with this surname, Malan, as I said. This guy, Malan, destructive opener. India needs to watch out for him. De Kock, Test cricket, retired. He has a point or two to prove after all the controversy surrounding him. He's a world-class ODI player. And they have Tabraiz Shamsi, who till not long ago was the number 1 T20I bowler in the world. There is some quality in that team. India start favorites, but there is some quality in that team.
Now let's also talk about India's likely 11. If we can get that graphic up on the screen, Nikhil. As we said, the openers in this match, Shikhar Dhawan and KL Rahul. Virat Kohli comes in at number 3. Now, there was a toss-up between Surya Kumar Yadav and Shreyas Iyer, and we've gone in with Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh Pant, Venkatesh Iyer. Shardul Thakur also finds a place in our team. And just because this pitch is kind of flat, as we're understanding from the reports coming from South Africa, R. Ashwin gets a look in, Yuzvendra Chahal, Deepak Chahal, and Jasprit Bumrah. So I think the only difference, Nikhil, I don't know, would be possibly another seamer in place of Ravichandran Ashwin.
Correct. That's right, Meha. And as we are chatting, so the toss has happened, Meha, and South Africa won the toss and not surprisingly have opted to bat.
Opted to bat.
So that I think the teams will be out. Yeah. Yeah, I think we also have the graphic of South Africa's likely 11. Yeah, that's South Africa's likely 11. If so, there's Bavuma. It's on predictable lines. Peacock, Shamsi, as you pointed out. David Miller, hard-hitting ODI batsman. So that is South Africa's likely 11. I think the squads will be out very soon. We'll just update you. But
South Africa have won the toss. They've opted to bat first, and Bavuma is saying that the wicket looks a bit dry. He would like to make use of the best of the batting conditions. And he goes on to say that hopefully it will slow up and the slower bowlers can get in the game. We are still trying to get you the team, the Indian team. But he said that Marco Jansen comes in place. Obviously, comes in, and obviously they don't have Kagiso Rabada available, and they've gone in with 2 spinners. Nikhil?
That's very interesting if they're going in with 2 spinners because, it's a small ground, and although it assists spinners, the Indian batsmen are good players of spin, and a small ground, the 2 spinners can be taken to the cleaners. I think they're playing Keshav Maharaj and George Lind, if I'm not mistaken. Those should be the 2 spinners, unless there's Tabrez Shamsi also there. So let me see who the 2 spinners are. Rabada not being there is a big miss, not so as big as Test cricket. He's not as good an ODI bowler as in Test cricket, Meha, but he's still a world-class bowler in red-hot form. So Rabada rested is a miss for South Africa. But this series, again, is not a part of the World Cup Super League. So I think both teams, are not taking it lightly, but it's, it doesn't the points don't go forward to the World Cup Super League. So, yeah.
So that's right. So as we've been saying, South Africa have opted to bat first. And this is what KL Rahul has said, who we would have wanted to bat first as well. We're always ready to do both things. Looks a little bit dry. Have some quality spinners in our attack with Bumrah and Bhuvi starting. So they've gone in with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Hopefully they'll get a couple of early wickets with the swing. Venkatesh Iyer is debuting. Shreyas Iyer to bat at 4. Okay, so they've gone in with Shreyas Iyer. Rishabh Pant, Shardul Thakur, Ravichandran Ashwin finds a place. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Jasprit Bumrah and Yuzvendra Chahal. So some of those changes, Nikhil, we went in for Surya Kumar Yadav, but I think the captain showing his faith in Shreyas Iyer. There is also Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's in place, in fact, at least from our team where we were saying Deepak Chahar. So Bhuvneshwar Kumar is in that team. But clearly, this will come down to how the 2 spinners bowl, because I think both the captains have said that the pitch is dry. And so I'm starting to think that India have that advantage in case it does happen to aid the spinners. But how much of a difference will it make, you think, given that India have lost the toss and that they'll be chasing?
It is a decent advantage to South Africa, Maya. Batting first is definitely an advantage here. South Africa have scored 351. They've almost reached 351 in the last 5 years batting first. Batting second, you've seen collapses. The wicket will deteriorate further. Spinners might come into play, but it's a small ground. It's a small ground. If the wicket holds true, India doesn't wilt under the heat. India can chase down any target South Africa sets. Interesting choice not to play Surya Kumar and playing Shreyas over, maybe more experience. And 2 spinners, well, because the wicket will assist, so I'm not surprised there. Otherwise, I think both the teams are on predictable lines, Mia.
Okay, so that's it from us. South Africa have chosen to have won the toss, so opted to bat first. India have Venkatesh Iyer debuting for them in this test match, in this ODIs. We'll get you all the latest from this match in Paarl and a lot more right here on News 9 Digital. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.